Let's say, hypothetically, you've been given the task to tell a story, produce a video from start to finish using only one lens. You're not allowed to use any other lens, only one lens. What would that go-to lens be? For me, that is a 35mm. And today I'm going to give you 5 reasons why a 35mm is a must-have for video. First reason would be its low light capability. It's a fixed focal length, so most of them can go as wide open as f1.2. The current one I'm shooting with, the Sigma Art 35mm, goes to 1.4, and some of them go to f2, but even that, just the fact that it can go open that wide allows for so much more light to come in, and also it gives you that more cinematic look and feel with the blurry background and having that shallow depth of field. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch off my main light over here. So you can see it is pretty low lit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, and then I'm just going to bring the aperture down to 1.4. All right, so let's take the shutter speed to about 3. Now it's catching the light coming from the window and the door from there. No light coming from here. It's just super shallow. I mean, you can't even see the dog taking the moment to chill on the bed. Having that low light capability is pretty awesome, especially when you've got event filmmaking, when you've got wedding filmmaking, all of that. Sometimes you're not always going to be in a place where you can put up a light, and you're going to have to improvise, and having a lens being able to give you that, pretty awesome. The second reason why I believe that a 35mm is a must-have for video is the fact that it is a super stable lens. It really hits that sweet spot of having just the right parameters on your sensor to not be bumpy or shaky or to have a wobble or anything. It is super stable, even before the days of in-body stabilization. On the 5D Mark IV, on the 1DX Mark II, the 35mm was always my most stable lens. Just check out this quick sequence to show you how stable this lens can be. All handheld. Reason why you need a 35mm is it's a way more flattering look on your subject. When you filming a bride or you've got fashion work, you generally don't want your subject to appear bigger than they actually are. Now what a 35mm does, it's kind of like it finds the perfect shape and the perfect smoothness within conjunction of your frame. And what I mean by that is your subject just blends into your environment instead of standing out too much and maybe broadening out and flattening out and making them appear bigger. Naturally, the 50mm and the 85mm give that look and feel, where the 35mm kind of just smooths it out a bit more. It's just that sweet spot in making your subject appear flattering. Like I said, it's a very versatile lens. You get your wides, your mids and your closes with one lens. That wider scope of an environment. You know, it fills in a story a bit better. Don't get me wrong, I love tighter shots, but using a 35mm to establish a location or do a close-up on someone, it really just gives you a whole different perspective, and it gives the world a different perspective. So if you have a combination of like a 35mm and maybe an 85mm, I think then you're sorted when it comes to wedding filmmaking and event filmmaking. Another reason would be it's a very relatable lens. And what I mean by relatable, for our eyes, for our cognitive recognition when we see shots that have been done in the 35mm.
You know, it goes back to those golden days of cinema for me, the days that people started figuring out how to use cameras and how to tell a story using a camera. So this hits the sweet spot and immediately places the viewer of your work in this position where they feel comfortable and they feel that it's something that hits home. It's something that they can relate to.
And would you look at that? We have reached the end of our video. If you enjoyed the video, please do let me know that you've enjoyed the video. If you don't agree with me, please feel free to disagree. And also hit up this video if you haven't seen it. And maybe the playlist over here and the one over here can help you out with some filmmaking and photography related tips. Yeah, that's pretty much that. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day.